I hope Paddy is gonna lose, because if Paddy wins, it's gonna be a problem for me again.
Why do you think so?
I think he's gonna try and avoid me.
You say if he wins against Justin or if he wins against Ilya?
No, against Justin. Against Ilya, he never can beat Ilya.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants me to get hurt because I'm not gonna fight him. I'm a nightmare for him, and he knows that if we're gonna fight, he's gonna lose.
The entire UFC lightweight division is running scared from one man, and Arman Tsarukyan is absolutely done pretending it's not happening. While every other top contender is sitting on their hands, making excuses and cherry-picking easy fights, Tsarukyan is out here calling them all out for what they really are terrified. This isn't just some fighter complaining about not getting opportunities. This is a legitimate title contender watching his entire division actively duck him while he's forced to chase side money through what he calls side quests, instead of getting the massive fights he deserves. His recent social media posts aren't just confident, they're dripping with barely contained frustration at a system that's keeping him from the biggest fights in the sport. And here's the wild part, he's not wrong. When you look at the matchmaking patterns, the timeline delays, and the convenient injuries that seem to pop up whenever his name gets mentioned, it's pretty obvious what's happening here.
Get hurt because I'm not gonna fight him. I'm a nightmare for him, and he knows that if we're gonna fight, he's gonna lose, and he's gonna try not to fight me on his whole life. And I hope Justin Gaethje gonna knock him out and send him back to England, and he can eat his I don't know what he's eating there, chicken or.
But Tsarukyan isn't just sitting around complaining about the situation. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and his latest move is absolutely brilliant. He's publicly backing Justin Gaethje to demolish Paddy Pimblett in their upcoming fight, and the reasoning behind this is pure strategic genius. See, Tsarukyan knows that Gaethje is one of the few fighters in this division who actually accepts dangerous fights without hesitation. The guy's built his entire career on walking into wars that other fighters won't touch. Meanwhile, if Pimblett wins, Tsarukyan's looking at another fighter who'll probably find every excuse in the book to avoid him. Gaethje represents everything Tsarukyan respects in this sport, a willingness to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. And that potential clash between Tsarukyan and Gaethje, that's the kind of violence that would break pay-per-view records and leave one man unconscious on the canvas.
Once I get this belt, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to beat Ilya. I'm going to beat Paddy. I'm going to beat Ilya. And then I got to get Max back. Have to. So I need him to win. I need him to beat Charles.
Right.
Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. They both beat me, so I want either one of those back.
Yeah.
Those are the only two guys that I have the opportunity to get back right now. So that's what I'm shooting.
Now get this, Gaethje himself is making it crystal clear that winning the lightweight title wouldn't be some career-ending victory lap. This man is talking about the championship like it's just the beginning of his real legacy, not the end. That devastating loss he suffered in the past is still eating at him, driving every single training session, every game plan, every moment he steps into that gym. You can see it in his eyes during interviews. This isn't about money or fame anymore. This is about redemption, about proving that one bad night doesn't define an entire career. Gaethje views that title as the key that unlocks a whole new level of super fights and legendary matchups. He's talking about the championship like it's his launching pad into the kind of fights that get remembered decades later.
For the BMF belt, a belt that you've held before. What do you think of that matchup?
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. I hope Max wins. I hope Ilya goes up, and then I can fight Max on the White House card and take the BMF belt and the championship.
Oh, there you go.
Here's where Gaethje's master plan gets really interesting. He's already looking past his immediate opponents and targeting a rematch with Max Holloway, but only after Holloway beats Charles Oliveira in their upcoming battle. But wait, there's another layer to this strategy that most people are missing. Gaethje wants Ilia Topuria to keep climbing the ranks, but then step aside when the time comes, essentially clearing the path for that massive Holloway superfight. This isn't random matchmaking, this is calculated career planning. Gaethje knows that a victory over Holloway, especially after Holloway beats Oliveira, would cement his legacy as one of the greatest lightweights ever. He's thinking 3 fights ahead while most fighters can barely plan their next training camp.
What if Ilya comes back in the summertime, right? And now you've got an interim champion, and usually the interim champion will fight the actual champion.
Maybe.
You're neither of those. That means we're talking about another fight happening, and you're not fighting for the belt, and now we're talking about the back end of the year.
Yeah, but maybe BMF title.
Okay.
So we'll see.
You don't want that, right? You want the real
Yeah, I
title.
want to rule that, but I don't want to wait until the end of the next year. And then Eli, he fights once a year. Maybe he defend his title in June, and then say, okay, I'll fight next year
Right.
in June. And then what I can do, just
Sure.
stay. And I'm not that young to wait a lot too. So if they give me BMF title, it would be great too. If Charles Oliveira wins, so it's gonna be good. We got the story, and just get that belt, and then the real.
And here's where things get absolutely wild. Sorokin is targeting the winner of Oliveira versus Holloway, but not for the lightweight title, for the BMF championship. This move is pure genius when you break it down. If Topuria doesn't return to the octagon before summer, Sorokin's done waiting around. He's pointing out what everyone already knows but won't say out loud. Topuria fights maybe once a year, and Sorokin isn't about to put his career on hold for someone else's vacation schedule. The BMF belt represents everything Sorokin stands for: violence, excitement, and the willingness to fight anyone who steps up. It's also a perfect way to stay active and relevant while the politics of the lightweight division sort themselves out. Plus, can you imagine the chaos of Sorokin holding that BMF strap? The callouts, the challenges, the absolute mayhem that would follow.
When I was going to lose to Max, who makes the choice there to go to sleep or knock him out, you know? I knew I was losing, and I knew that was my only chance. And most people, you know, rightly so, would not take that chance. But that's who I am, and that's, if I get that chance, if I'm in that position again, I will do the same exact thing.
But here's the moment that really shows you who Sorokin is as a fighter. He feels absolutely zero remorse about that last-second gamble he took against Max Holloway that had everyone talking. When the fight was slipping away from him, when most fighters would have played it safe and cruised to a decision loss, Sorokin said forget it and went for broke. He trusted his instincts over conventional wisdom, and he's proud of that decision. Most fighters, if they're being honest, would have taken the safe route and accepted the loss. But Sorokin thrives on that kind of beautiful chaos, that moment where everything's on the line and you have to decide what kind of fighter you really are. And here's the kicker. He's promising that if he ever finds himself in that situation again, he's making the exact same choice. This man would rather go out on his shield swinging for the fences than win boring decisions.
He wants to keep this on the feet. We know his knockout power, but your submission skills are so slick. You want to take it to the ground? Oh, okay.
I'll keep it on the feet with him. Like, there's the blueprint there to beat him. Max done it, and I everyone underestimates my strike, and everyone thinks I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna take him down, and I'm not. Like, he had an absolute war with Chandler, and I Chandler up. So I know MMA math doesn't work, but you'll see come Jan 24th when we have a perfect game plan and we finish him within 3.
Now let's talk about Paddy Pimblett, because this guy is convinced he's already cracked the code to beating Justin Gaethje. Pimblett watched Max Holloway's performance against Gaethje and thinks he's found the perfect blueprint for standing and trading with one of the most dangerous strikers in the division. The confidence is actually shocking. Pimblett genuinely believes his striking is at the level where he can outbox Gaethje in a phone booth fight. He's not just talking about winning a decision either. Pimblett is predicting a finish inside 3 rounds, claiming his game plan is so perfectly crafted that Gaethje won't make it out of the early rounds. That's either supreme confidence or dangerous delusion, and we're about to find out which one it is when these two step into that cage.
One of these is a traumatic life experience, and it's there's no matching the high or the low of winning or losing this sport. And you know, it kind of ruined other parts of life, but now I am so hungry, and I've never felt more alive than when I feel in there. I will miss it when it's gone, and you know, I think I truly love it more than most.
Are you allowing yourself to think about that yet? When you said when it's gone, you're not anywhere near that yet, are you?
No. But it's not the beginning. You know, I'm 37 years old. There's no, you know, I'd be a fool to think that we're just getting started here. The end is near.
Here's something that hit me hard listening to Gaethje talk about his career. This man is incredibly self-aware about where he is in his fighting journey, and it's both inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. He openly admits he's closer to the end than the beginning, but instead of that making him cautious, it's actually lit a fire under him like never before. Gaethje describes fighting as this intense, transformative experience that makes everything else in life feel muted by comparison. The highs are higher, the lows are lower, and once you've experienced that level of intensity, normal life just hits different. But here's the beautiful part, knowing his time is limited has made him appreciate every single moment in that octagon. He's not fighting scared or trying to protect his legacy. He's fighting like a man who knows these opportunities won't last forever.
One more knockout. I went to sleep. Before that, I'd never been put to sleep. If I would get put to sleep again, I would definitely call it quits.
Really? So you're drawing a line?
That's been my line. Yeah, it never happened. So it wasn't like if I get knocked out, I'm quitting. But once I got knocked out, 37 years old. If I was 20, 27, 30, this would be a different story. But this is not the beginning. This is definitely the end of my career, and it's been such an amazing thing. Obviously, they'll use and abuse you in this sport, and you have to protect yourself. And I obviously have created a team. I got my family and my coaches, and they all have my best interest in at hand. And I've always told them that I'm in it till they say I don't have it no more. Or whenever I feel like my younger self, the hunger of my younger self can beat the skills that I have now, then it would be done.
And get this bombshell, Gaethje just announced that if he gets knocked out again, he's walking away from the sport permanently. This isn't some negotiating tactic or emotional outburst. This is a calculated decision from a fighter who got knocked unconscious for the first time in his career and had to completely reevaluate everything. Gaethje is asking himself the hardest question any fighter can face. How many wars do I have left in me? He's relying on his team and family to help him recognize when it's time to step away before the sport takes more from him than it gives back. The honesty is refreshing and terrifying at the same time. Every fight now carries the weight of potentially being his last, and that's either going to make him more dangerous or more vulnerable.
Surprised I know Ilya's going through a lot of stuff and wish him nothing but the best with it, know what I mean? That's nothing to do with us fighting, it's nothing to do with being in the cage, so all that around his family life, I hope everything goes perfect for him, but when he does finally come back and get in the cage, I want to punch his face in. But for now, when I win this belt, I am the champ, know what I mean? While he's out the cage, I'm the lightweight champ, and but that's the way I see it.
So that interim belt to you will feel undisputed?
Yeah.
You know what's wild? Even while Pimblett is supposed to be completely focused on Gaethje, he's already got Ilia Topuria's return circled on his mental calendar. This isn't just looking ahead. This is Pimblett essentially promising that when Topuria comes back, it won't be some easy tune-up fight. Pimblett is planning to crash that comeback party and turn it into an absolute war. His strategy is crystal clear. Handle Gaethje first, then immediately pivot to making Topuria's return as difficult and violent as possible. The disrespect is actually impressive. Pimblett is treating Topuria's comeback like a challenge he needs to ruin rather than a fight he hopes to get.
He wants you to win, he wants that fight. Have you allowed yourself to think of what a fight with Ilya looks like?
Yeah, I think I beat him up as well, know what I mean? Like, he's very small compared to me, know what I mean? He's up to like here, he's not that wide. You've definitely seen that video of him and Pantoja just stood next to each other and they look the same weight. So, like, there's weight classes for a reason. And if he wants to fight me at 155, it'll get seriously messy.
But wait, it gets even more personal. Pimblett went ahead and mocked Topuria's physique, basically saying his bigger frame gives him a massive advantage in any potential matchup. He's pointing out that weight classes exist for a reason, and if Topuria wants to move up to lightweight, he's going to find out real quick what fighting bigger, stronger opponents feels like. This is Pimblett essentially issuing a size and strength challenge, claiming that Topuria's success at featherweight won't translate when he's facing naturally bigger lightweights. It's a direct shot at Topuria's ability to compete at the higher weight class, and you know that's going to get under his skin.
Bosses don't get knocked out. What do you say to that?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Have you allowed
I will try to test that theory.
Have you allowed yourself to think ahead to once you win, if you get the win, Ilya? No thought.
Nope, I've said it before, I don't ever plan on being alive after the fight, so if that's how it ends, that's how it ends.
Despite all this talk about future opponents, Gaethje is staying locked in on the task at hand. He's characterizing his approach to the Pimblett fight as nothing less than an all-out war that demands his complete attention. For Gaethje, this isn't just another fight on his resume. This is a battle that requires every ounce of his focus and preparation. He's not looking past Pimblett or treating him like a stepping stone. Gaethje knows that in this sport, the moment you start thinking about what comes after your next fight is the moment you get knocked out cold. His entire mindset is locked on the immediate challenge standing in front of him.
I think I finish him wherever the fight goes, to be honest. Obviously, I know he can bang, but every fight we get a breakdown made of our opponent, and it actually shocks me how much he gets hit. And I know he takes one to give one, but you can't really just do that at this level. That's why he's lost to people like Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Charles, because you can't just take one to give one. And I'm not going to just be standing there to let him hit me back. You know what I mean? So, be using me range, keeping him on the outside, and I've got a feeling I'm going to knock him out, to be honest. I don't know what it is. I've just got a sneaky suspicion I'm going to knock him out. You know, I've been doing a lot of rounds with Luke Riley for this camp, and Luke's got much better technical striking than Justin Gaethje, and I'm having a lot of success sparring with Luke. And obviously, one of my coaches, Ellis, who used to fight himself, he's the exact same build as Justin. He's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. And I've been doing rounds with him. He's literally, because he doesn't fight anymore, lad, and he's just a coach, he's just done Justin's style for me. He hasn't got his own style. He's been doing Justin for me, and just the bits what we're working, I can see me knocking him out or dropping him and then submitting him. People are going on about his takedown defense, but if I want to take him down, I will take him down, lad. Simple.
Pimblett's confidence about the Gaethje fight is actually staggering. He's stating with absolute certainty that this fight won't go the full 5 rounds, and he's positioning himself as the perfect fighter to exploit what he sees as Gaethje's main weakness. According to Pimblett, Gaethje is incredibly dangerous, but also tends to absorb a lot of strikes, and that's exactly the opening he needs. This isn't just predicting a victory, Pimblett is guaranteeing a finish. He's saying flat out that he's going to stop Gaethje, not win some close decision that leaves people debating who really won. The boldness is either going to look genius or completely foolish come fight night.
Justin Gaethje has good wrestling. He uses it very well defensively. Can you foresee him maybe being able to stop your takedowns?
No. I don't wrestle like a normal person. I don't shoot double legs and single legs and wrestle like a normal person does. I do everything differently. I'm not normal. So he's not gonna be able to get a sparring partner in what grapples like me or strikes like me, because I'm a weirdo.
Fair enough.
It's the way it is, but
he did call your style awkward, actually.
I'm honest, Val, and I'm very awkward. You can't really get a sparring partner in to do me because I'm so awkward. So I'm looking forward to fighting him. As I say, he's a legend. He's someone I've always loved watching. So to get the chance to actually get in the cage and fight with him is unbelievable. I can't wait, and to have Justin Gaethje on my resume is going to be something that'll last forever. You know what I mean? It'll be part of my legacy, and I'm looking forward to it. I just hope he doesn't.
Here's what makes Pimblett genuinely interesting as a fighter. He's fully embraced being the weird, unorthodox guy in the division. He describes his own fighting style as peculiar and impossible to replicate in training, which he believes gives him a massive advantage. Think about that for a second. If training partners can't properly mimic your style, then opponents can't get quality preparation for what you're going to do. Pimblett claims his striking and wrestling don't follow any standard playbook, making him a constant puzzle that opponents struggle to solve. This unpredictability has carried him this far in his career, and he's betting it'll be enough to shock Gaethje when they finally clash.
Against Daniel Cormier, what a stuffy, Cormier really is. I think if you really get to know Daniel...
Now let's shift gears completely, because Daniel Cormier and John Jones are back at it, and the animosity is as real as ever. Jones recently went public with his frustration, claiming that no matter how hard he tries to move past their rivalry, Cormier keeps pulling him back into the drama. According to Jones, what started as a professional rivalry has turned into something deeply personal, and he's convinced that Cormier actually wants to keep this feud alive forever. Jones feels like he's been trying to take the high road, but every time he does, something happens that drags them both back into the mud. The psychology here is fascinating. Two legends who can't seem to exist in the same sport without creating fireworks.
He was so. I mean, he didn't really connect with any of the fighters here. He's just so. I tried to make peace with him many times, and he made it very clear that he wants to be enemies for the rest of his life because how lucrative it is.
But you guys having fun here?
There was moments where we got to laugh, but for the most part, he's a kid. You look at the way that he treats his staff members. He brought like 10 yes men out with him, and literally, go get me my water. Where's my this? Why is that this? He just bosses guys around. And the times we weren't filming, he wasn't very sociable with the people on set. He's just a kid. I think people that really work with him will know this.
Jones himself reflected on their time working together, calling the entire experience incredibly awkward whenever the cameras weren't rolling. According to his version of events, any positive interactions they had were completely overshadowed by underlying tension and conflict. Jones claims that Cormier would stick to his own group and consistently create situations that led to confrontation. For Jones, their shared experiences only confirmed what he already believed about their fundamental differences as people. That famous rivalry wasn't just manufactured for pay-per-view sales. These two genuinely couldn't stand being around each other.
There was moments where we got to laugh, but for the most part, he's a dickhead. You look at the way that he treats his staff members. He brought like 10 yes men out with him and literally, go get me my water. Where's my this? Why is that this? He just bosses guys around. And the times we weren't filming, he wasn't very sociable with the people on set. He's just a dickhead. I think people that really work with him knows that.
Cormier's response was exactly what you'd expect from someone who's completely done with the diplomatic approach. He acknowledged that they did spend time together and even had some lighter moments, but he made it crystal clear that he has absolutely no desire to associate with Jones in any meaningful way. Cormier didn't hold back, talking about personal attacks and deceptions that have made forgiveness impossible. While he admits he doesn't carry the same intense hatred he once did, he's offering no olive branch and seeking no friendship. The bridge between them isn't just burned, it's obliterated.
Make peace. Didn't connect with the fighters. There was like 4 shots in 30 seconds there.
Did you have you worked with me?
Yes, I have.
For how long?
I worked, friends, covered you.
How long? Am I all those things?
No, that's why I thought it was very interesting to hear from him.
So then just trust John Jones. Maybe I'm all those things to him. Like, here's the deal. We were around each other every single day. And we were cordial. We had times where John and I actually laughed at stuff. Like, we laughed together at stuff. But if I didn't have to be around him, I'm not going to voluntarily be around him. Why would I want that? Look, man, I don't harbor the emotion of the past that I did with him. I really don't. But we spoke negatively about each other's families. We had a nasty thing. Like, he cheated constantly. Like, I don't have to let him off the hook and be his friend.
But here's where things get interesting. Cormier actually confirmed he'd be open to a wrestling match with Jones, though he's realistic about how complex it would be to organize. We're talking about an event that would be astronomically expensive and logistically nightmarish to pull off. Plus, there's no guarantee Jones would even agree to compete in that format. But despite all these hurdles, Cormier is keeping the option on the table, describing it as the kind of high-stakes contest that fans are dying to see. Can you imagine the pay-per-view numbers if these two legends actually agreed to settle their differences on the wrestling mat?
Against them in something this year. This seems to be the hot button issue right now. People want to see you in the RAF promotion or in some sort of competition. What are the chances?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll happen. Listen, to make me and him do anything costs so much money. There's very few people that can actually make it happen. So I don't know if it happens. And, the whole wrestling thing, that's cool, man. It's all cool to make pipe dreams, but I don't know that he's willing to allow me to embarrass him on a wrestling mat.
Cormier was refreshingly honest about where he stands on any potential octagon rematch with Jones. He's done with professional fighting, joking about his age and gray hair as clear indicators that his competing days are over. But when it comes to wrestling, that's a completely different story. Cormier is radiating confidence, claiming that in a pure grappling contest, the outcome would be completely one-sided in his favor. He's pointing to his Olympic wrestling background as the decisive factor, predicting what he calls an easy 10-0 victory. His message to Jones is clear. You want to wrestle? Let's go. No hesitation, no excuses.
Hey, he don't even have to make a video to ask me to wrestle.
Yeah. What if John Jones wants to fight?
I'm not fighting, man.
You're
no. I'm not fighting. Look at my face, dude. Look at all this gray.
Hey, you look great. I like the beard.
Hey, I'm not fighting. I would box him, but I'm not fighting.
You would box John? I would love to see it.
Why not?
Really?
Yeah. I'd box him his face up.
Wow.
I'm older, bro. Hey, bro, I prefer to actually just not do any of that stuff, honestly.
Okay.
I'm old, man. I'm a commentator. I'm chilling. Yeah.
Does it make
match probably? Wrestling match would be preferable.
How does it go?
Wrestling?
Yeah.
10-0.
10-0. Easy.
Bro, I am an Olympian.
2-time.
We're going to get in a wrestling stance and wrestle with shoes on? 10-0.
However, Kamaru Usman jumped into this conversation with a reality check that nobody saw coming. Despite Jones lacking the traditional high-level wrestling credentials, Usman pointed out that his grappling skills are absolutely undeniable. When Jones decides to engage on the ground, he completely dictates the pace and has this incredible ability to destabilize even elite-level opponents. Usman emphasized that a grappling match between Jones and Cormier would be far from the guaranteed victory that DC is predicting. According to Usman, Jones is a formidable grappler who should never be underestimated, regardless of his amateur wrestling background.
Has happened. What you thinking, Henry? Because I don't think it's what people are general consensus is thinking. I don't think that's how this goes down.
What do you mean, like as in?
What you thinking? You think how you thinking?
No, you're telling me you got John Jones?
I'm not telling you anything. All I'm saying is that's the general consensus, and I'm telling you right now, it's not that simple. Because John Jones never went to the Division I and had the accolades and all of that, people sleep on just how talented John Jones. I believe John Jones could have been a multiple-time Division I champion. I believe that. John Jones was that good at wrestling. That good. And I've watched John Jones decide, I'm gonna wrestle. And when he decided to wrestle, he made people look bad. To where, I'm telling you, this man is just freak athletic talent and the whole family. You know, John and Arthur, both state champion, New York state champions. You know, I know that's not saying a lot because that's high school, and DC definitely has the international, accolades. But listen, they fought. And yes, I understand that's just fighting, that's MMA. But when it came down to that wrestling exchange, John is no slouch. This ain't gonna be just that easy.
Cormier also expressed serious doubts about Jones' potential as a head coach, suggesting that his ego might interfere with his ability to lead a team effectively. According to Cormier, great coaching requires putting the team first above everything else. But he believes Jones still maintains that individualistic fighter mindset instead of embracing the selfless perspective needed to elevate others. It's another layer to their ongoing rivalry. Even Jones' post-fighting career choices are being questioned by his longtime rival.
All the time with John in Thailand, he's different today than he was back then. He's not that same person that he was back when him and I were going through all of our stuff. I just know. You know what Khabib is? You know what Khabib is and why he's such a great coach? Khabib is the most selfless person you've ever met. Dude, he can put his athletes above himself, in front of him, in everything that he does. And in order to be a great coach, you cannot have an ego. You have to become secondary to everyone that you coach. And John is he's still on the roster. He's an active fighter. And I don't know if he can be as giving and selfless to make Gable the true star of the.
So there you have it. The lightweight division is in complete chaos with fighters ducking each other left and right. Legends are still settling old scores outside the octagon, and we've got potential super fights brewing that could reshape multiple divisions. This isn't just about individual matchups anymore. This is about the future of combat sports and who's willing to step up when the stakes are highest. The politics, the egos, and the genuine animosity are creating a perfect storm of entertainment that goes way beyond just fighting. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Which of these potential fights would break the internet harder, Sorokin versus Gaethje for violence, or Cormier versus Jones in a wrestling match for pure legacy? If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because the drama is just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.